Yo, how's everyone doing? It's your boy Darren, and today we're going to be talking about Steve Fox. I wanted to provide some tips and tricks for him. I've played a lot lately in ranked. I've been labbing, I've been practicing, and just getting a feel of Steve, because as you know, King is my true main, but I've been focusing on Steve. He's a difficult and technical character, so it's been really fun. And I wanted to just give out things I've found, and maybe you guys can give stuff to me too as well that I can find out. But other than that, let's get straight into it. We're first going to talk about his new tech. So as you've all seen on Twitter, on YouTube, Steve can now cancel out of his Ali stance or Lionheart stance, and it's a little difficult. I haven't practiced it too much, but when it comes to just doing the Lionheart manually by doing up back 3, it's a lot easier for me to get it to come out, as you see, pretty consistently. So this is good, right? Because I can throw this out, boom, grab somebody or hit him with a sabaki. It's really cool. But the main utility of this move is from doing back 1-2 and then going to the stance. But it's a little difficult. There you go. So the way you're supposed to do it is his hand, when his right arm goes down and it's coming back up, you have to quickly input forward 3, then 3+2, right? But the trick that I've seen people do and I'm doing is after I go into the Ali stance, I'm holding forward. As you see on the left side, I'm holding forward as soon as I go into the stance, and as soon as his arm is coming up, you see that? As soon as his arm is coming right back up, I quickly hit 3, then 3 and 3+2, because since I play on pad, it's easier for me to hit 3 and then hit 3+2 together, 3 and 3+2, because it counts, right? What you're supposed to do is hit, while holding forward, you hit 3, then you hit 3 and 4 together to get 3+4. You get what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. It is a little bit confusing, but yes. See, so when you do the Ali stance, you're gonna hold forward, then you're gonna hit 3, then 3+4, or 3, then 3 and 4. Okay, so that's the main thing, and you got to remember that the 3 needs to be quick, and the R2 has a little bit of leeway, but that first 3 has to be on one frame on the left side. But I wouldn't really worry about the frame thing. I would worry about the eyes. Okay, like as soon as his arm's going up, you see that, and you can see on the left side of my notations, I hit 3, then I hit 3 and 3+4. Okay, so it works both. You can hit 3 and 3+4 together, or you can hit 3 and 3+4. Okay, and that's how you cancel his Pikaboo stance. It's really good because it allows him to block. Okay, because when you're in this stance, you can't block at all. Okay, the only thing you can do is throw out a button, or you can sway out, any of his other stances. So this was a really cool tech that somebody found on Twitter, and I'll put his name in the comments or on the screen. But yeah, this is really sick. I'm definitely gonna lab it more, and if you're a Steve player, I would lab it as well. So other than that, I'm gonna get into something else. So something kind of similar. So up back 2, it goes into Ali stance, but if you hold back, it cancels, right? And so I found out you can do up back 2 and go into Pikaboo, just regular, by hitting forward 3+4, right? Just like that. You see how quick that looks? It looks very natural. You just hit up back 2, you hold back, right? And you quickly hit forward 3+4 to go into Pikaboo, and now you can throw out options. Okay, and the reason why Pikaboo stance is so important is because not only can you block, but it has this really quick grab. It has 2, right, which is also a counter hit launcher, like that. And if Brian throws out a punch, it will parry the punch. Hold up, like that. You see that? So any punch that's thrown, it will automatically stuff it to the ground, right? So that's why Pikaboo is so dangerous, right? The many options you have within it, it changes it. So just to add more to the Pikaboo, if you want to do a little easier mix, doing up back 2 into this Pikaboo has a similar effect to doing Ali into Pikaboo, right? Because it's a little difficult, but once you get it down, you know, it's going to be very useful. Okay. Another thing I wanted to talk about is flicker stance. Okay, so flicker stance is back 3+4, and then Pikaboo is forward 3+4. So this is very useful because Steve has a lot of cancels and ducks, and it's very important to know. So when you do flicker, you can go into Pikaboo just like that by doing back 3+4, forward 3+4. Stances have different utilities, different importances in the match, and you know, it's good to know that you can just go from this to this if you wanted to. Okay, and also anything you can sway back, you can duck to the side, you can duck to the right, you can duck forward. Okay, so pretty much out of flicker, he can go to any single stance. When he's in Pikaboo, right, you can duck out to the left, to the right, you can duck forward. Okay, but you can't go from Pikaboo to flicker. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is when you're on the flicker and you do down back. You see this? Look how quick this is. This is very important because one of his best lows is actually from while crouch, right? This low right here, because when you do it, it puts you into Pikaboo. So let me turn this off real quick. So now, look at that. So now you can jump back, close the gap with this. Like, I found that out recently and I'm like, holy, like this is so useful. That was one of my main issues with Steve. A lot of my lows were telegraphed because I was kind of awkward and didn't know how to smoothly put in his lows. But when you know how to quickly, like that, that's gonna get anybody, honestly, right? Because when you do this, look how quick that is. You can be doing anything, and you can also do his launcher from crouch so fast. Okay, and so you just do back 3+4 into flicker, and you're gonna do down back, and it's gonna cancel it. And it's gonna also put you in crouch if you hold down back. Okay, so it's a similar trick to doing back 1 and then doing down back. Okay, and in my 12-minute guide, I go over Steve's moves. So this one's mainly focused on just little tricks. So if you want to check that out, make sure to hit the button. Another useful tip while you're in the flicker stance is when you go on the flicker, you can actually do his rocket punch without having to cancel anything. Because the forward, right, when you do flicker stance and hit forward, he gets out of the stance, right? And when you do quarter circle forward, it just automatically gets him out and he can do it. That's really useful because this is a heat engager mid that's, I think it's only -9 on block. Let's test it. Oh, -10. So worst case, you get a jab punish, and we can take those. So be able to go on the flicker and then boom into a heat engager is very good, especially if you already have heat, because you can go, you know, quickly into a launcher. You know, so it's definitely really useful. So if you didn't know, now you know. That was something I accidentally just kind of tested, you know, because a lot of times in the beginning I would focus myself on only doing his stance attacks and didn't really think about too much of his cancels. So that is very important with Steve. Another cool tip that I found is his 2+4 grab. If you see the way that the opponent is stance, you can actually get down back 2 on wake up, or down forward 2, sorry, on wake up. So look at this. Usually I spam it out like that. After the grab, you're just gonna spam down forward 2-1. You could wait and try to time it down, but if you really just want to get it out, because if they stand up too fast, they will block it like that. You see that? So with you spamming it, there's a higher chance of you getting that hit off, right? And if they wake up hitting the button, then you get, you know, the regular Gatling gun punish, right? So it's really useful. You see that? Just like that. So if they wake up low kick, wake up mid kick, you know, whatever it may be, wake up stand punch, that will give you a free little Gatling punch. Okay. Next thing I want to talk about, so this one's a little tricky, but it's very useful. So when you're in Pikaboo, when you're in Pikaboo stance and you do forward 2, right? Usually you can't really do too much. The opponent is still airborne, so you could do another one, right? Depending on what the opponent does. You can also do forward 1, right? If they don't roll off the ground, because the opponent is still floating, so it's up to them. They have to make sure to roll out the way or stand up, okay? So usually you can't do much, but I found out recently you can cancel Pikaboo into standing and hit Sonic Fang, okay? Like this, just like that. You see that? So I'm gonna show you the trick. So after you do forward 2, you're gonna hold forward and forward. Then you're gonna hit 3+4, because to go into Pikaboo and to go out of Pikaboo, you just hit the same button again, right? So this is the little trick. So you're gonna do forward 2, you hit forward 3+4 again, right? And it's gonna get you out into standing, okay? But make sure after you hit forward 2, you keep holding forward like this, so that when you hit 3+4, you're gonna get out of the stance, right? And it's gonna look like this, and you get Sonic Fang. The reason why that's such a cool trick is because when you're in heat, I dropped the combo, but as you see, you get a launch now because of that. Whoops. You know, it was a terrible combo, but that's the little idea to give you that when you get heat, you'll be able to use this and convert into a full launcher, right? So if you do it fast enough, it will count in the combo, but even like that, it's still going to work, right? But the more you practice it, the faster you'll get it, the more consistent that will be. So it's a neat little trick. I would definitely try to practice that. Obviously, it's a very situational combo, but it's definitely good to know. So another cool trick to know with Steve is when you're in ollie stance, a lot of the times people want to try to jab check you out of the stance because you can't block, you can only attack. So the best bet for the opponent is to do a power crush or to hit you with a jab of some kind, because jabs are usually 10 frames, so it's your best bet and quickest move to stop him from doing anything, right? But if they're only gonna do something like that, if you see your opponent is only just jab checking you out of your stance, this is a quick little trick. You can punish them severely for doing that. So let's I'm gonna do back 1, 2. Look at that. Look at that. Just for ducking the jab and punishing it with sway. So it's a neat little trick. I definitely need to use it more, but I found that a little bit recently on accident while I was playing. Because, you know, sometimes you're trying to sway out of the ollie stance. Is usually what I'm trying to do. I usually try to quickly get out and do a, 1-1 or a safe little 1-1-1 doing forward. But the fact that you can do back 1-2, room into sway, and get a launch, it's so awesome. Like, you can do whatever combo you want to do, but yeah, you can severely punish them by just crushing their attack with this move, because he ducks so low to the ground, it's gonna crush a lot of moves. And sometimes it might even crush some mids, just depending on how good of a mid that opponent you're playing against has. But yeah, I hope you guys use that and you destroy some folks for trying to jab punish you, because they shouldn't be doing that. They should have let you attack, right? So as you saw, it's a loop that I found. It's worked on a lot of people because it's fast, right? And on the guard break situation at the wall, you're really already scared, right? Because now that you get hit by this is guaranteed, right? And when he goes into his stance, he has so many options, right? So this sway option giving you 1-1-2 again, and the fact that you can just keep doing it over and over. You just do 1-1-2 and you sway back into his 1+2, right? And it's so fun because you can mix it up, right? So if you wanted to, you can do 1-1-2 push, 1-1-2 1, right? Because they'll duck it. They'll try to duck it or try to break the throw, right? That's usually what I see people try to do. But if they duck it, that's guaranteed. You see the little trick? It's kind of a way to abuse opponents. Obviously, the higher you get, the less it will work. But I hit the fusion ranks recently, and it still works. Trust me. It's definitely very fun. Little loop you can do, especially after a guard break, right? When you go into this, boom, 1-1-2, sway back. You know, you could do anything, but that grab loop is obviously the safest option, right? Because, you know, they're gonna be afraid at you, right? At the wall, they're afraid. They don't want to press. They don't want to step, right? They're just gonna wait for you to mess up, right? So, like I said, if they try to duck that grab, boom, 1, right? And you can do 1-2. You know, you can do Sonic Fang. So it's a couple options you can do. Okay. The next one I want to talk about is back 2. So back 2 is plus 14. So you can do Sonic Fang. You can do back 1-2 because the opponent is still standing. You can do down forward 1-2. And also, if you're quick enough, you can get Pikaboo forward 1+2. Like that. $97 damage. 97 damage off because of this one hit at the wall. Just think about that. That is dirty. It's a little tough to do, but once you get it down, you know, it's absolutely worth it. So the trick, I would just come to practice mode and I would just continuously put it on to block after hit, right? And just keep doing it. Something that's also similar to the forward 1+2 and Pikaboo is his sway. So as you see the little bit of space with the opponent, for some reason when he's at this range and you push them all the way into the wall, you have more frames. It doesn't show you on the screen, but I will show an example. So when you do shove from point blank at the wall like this, you can't get back 1-2. You see this? I'm trying to get back 1-2 and it won't come out. But at this range, look at that, we got it. So the further they are from the wall, usually at this range, you're more plus. So you have more options. So not only can you do back 1-2 into a mix, you can also do Pikaboo forward 1+2. So let's see if we can land it. Look at that. Off a grab, right? 86 damage. You can get more damage, but think about that for a second. Just because you got pushed into the wall, right? It's so dirty, so useful, so sick of a move. So if you didn't know, I hope this helps because it's very dirty and strong, right? To be able to do that by just throwing someone to the wall with a safe, you know, push, you know, it's crazy. Actually, 10 to 11 frames. So I think really close, 10 to 11 frames, and then at the max push range, you have, oops, there we go. You have 13 to 15 because this is 13, this is 13, and this comes out at 12 frames. So definitely very cool. And I hope you guys use that move and have fun with it. Next thing I want to talk about before we end the video is his 2-1-2. So this string is really good because, as you see, it's -11. So this string can only get punished by a quick little 1-2 jab, right? And the reason why that's so important is because this move wall splats. So let me have him stand. Whoops, let's see. You see that? So you can just keep poking into people with this move, right? And 2-1 goes into Pikaboo, it goes into Flicker, right? It's very useful. This is one of Steve's best moves, right? So to add more to it, so you understand how strong it is, not only can you just do 2-1 into his stances, but you can do a 3-hit string that's only -11 that wall splats, and you can delay the move. You see that? You can catch the opponent off guard to get that wall splat that you want. You don't have to do it at this speed. You can boom, boom, and throw out that last hit a little bit delayed to catch the opponent off guard, right? And I think the risk is worth it because, like I said, it's only -11. All they can do is a 1-2, right? So the reward and the mix is greater, right? So it's definitely useful. I use it a lot in my playthroughs online because it's just too good, right? Obviously it's a high, but this is more in the situation when you get it on block or on hit immediately. It's not you're just spamming it and then the opponent's gonna duck. It's gonna be boom, boom, going to stance, or you try to get that delayed hit, get the wall splat, get a little combo mix, and now it's up for the opponent. Okay. I think that's all I'm going to talk about today as far as tips and tricks. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys take this info and use it to the best of your ability. Definitely let me know down below if you enjoyed, if you would like a full guide. Like I said, I'm still learning Steve, still playing Steve, so as I go, the more I learn, I'm gonna give it out. And I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and I'm out.